Most construction business owners I talk to are doing everything themselves, and they've convinced themselves that's just how it works. That being the last one to leave the job site and the first one answering emails at 5 a.m. is just the price of running the business. But what's happening is you're running a $2 million company with a $200,000 structure. And that gap right there is why you're overwhelmed, underpriced, and haven't taken a real day off in longer than you'd like to admit. So today, I'm walking you through the exact organizational chart your construction business needs at every revenue stage, who to hire, when to hire them, and what to build first. And I'll show you the one department most contractors skip entirely that ends up costing them more than anything else. So what's the roadmap? I've worked with construction business owners across the country, from solo operators doing about $300K a year in revenue to companies pushing past 15 million. And the pattern is always the same. The ones who scale without losing their minds build their structure on purpose. So here is what we're covering today. 4 revenue stages, 4 different structures, and a clear picture of exactly where your business should be right now. So stage 1 is the solo operator, 0 to 500K. Second stage is the small crew phase, 500K to 1.5 million. Stage 3 is the growing company, up to 3 million. And stage 4 is what a scaling business looks like at 3 million and beyond. So let's get into it. Stage 1, solo operator. So at this stage, you are the business. You are the estimator, the project manager, the bookkeeper, the salesperson, and sometimes the person swinging the hammer. That's completely normal when you're starting out. Most people get it wrong because they stay here for way too long. Every hour you spend chasing receipts, reconciling your bank accounts, sending invoices is an hour you are not on the job site or closing the next deal. And at this stage, your time is genuinely your only real asset. I had a client who was a solo GC doing around 400K a year, but he was spending every Sunday night doing his own books instead of spending time with his family. He thought he was saving money. What he didn't realize was that the books were wrong. He was missing job costs left and right, and he had no real idea which of his jobs were actually making him money. He was super busy, but he wasn't building anything that was going to grow. So what actually needs to happen at this stage? First, get your financial system in place. QuickBooks set up properly, a simple job costing process, a way to track where money is going on each project. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to exist. Because if you don't know your numbers at 400K, you won't know them at 1.5 million either. You'll just have bigger problems to deal with. Second, start documenting how you do things. I know that sounds like something you do later when maybe you have a bigger team, but the contractors who scale smoothly are the ones who started writing things down early. How you onboard the client, how you run a project from start to finish, how you handle a change order, these don't have to be fancy documents. A simple Google Doc is enough, but getting your process out of your head onto the paper is what makes it possible to hand things off when the time comes. And that time comes faster than most people expect. Third, get your operations running cleanly before you add more volume. So a lot of solo contractors try to grow their way out of chaos. More jobs, more revenue, more everything. But if the foundation underneath is messy, more just means more mess. Clean up how your work flows through your business first, then grow on top of that. And fourth, starting thinking about how new work is coming in. At this stage, most contractors are running entirely on referrals and word of mouth. That works until it doesn't. Even a basic online presence, an updated Google profile, some photos of your work, a few real reviews, that goes a long way toward making sure that the phone keeps ringing. Your first hire when you're ready is someone who takes the admin off your plate. Scheduling emails, following up on invoicing, organizing receipts. That's Dan Martell's recipe from Buy Back Your Time. Replace yourself in the lowest value tasks first so you can focus on what actually moves things forward. Stage 1 structure looks like this: a real financial system, documented processes you can eventually hand off, clean operations as a foundation, a basic marketing presence so new work comes in consistently, and when you're ready, one admin hire to give you your time back. That's the stage 1 foundation worth building. Everything else gets added on top of this. Of course, in a lot of cases, this stage also means that you will need to start hiring staff on the operations side. Whether you need a technician, whether you need to work with subcontractors, you will need to make sure that you start building the relationships or start building the operations team. Stage 2, small crew. This is the stage I want to spend a little extra time on because this is where most contractors get into trouble. You've got a crew now. You're looking at more jobs, revenue is climbing, and from the outside, things look like they are working. But somehow you're more stressed than you were when you were actually doing everything yourself. The reason this happens is that you've added complexity without adding structure. More people, more invoices, more materials, more payroll, more moving parts, and you're still trying to manage all of it personally. So 3 things need to happen at this stage. The first is foreman or site supervisor, someone who can run the job site so you can get off it. This is the hire that gives you back the time to actually work on the business instead of being physically present at every single job every single day. The second is a bookkeeper, and I want to be really direct about this one because I see contractors push it off constantly. Once you cross 500K, your finances are too complex for Sunday night spreadsheets. You need someone tracking job costs on every project and reconciling your accounts, managing the payroll, sending invoices, and giving you something useful to look at every single month. You can lose a lot of money, unbilled change orders that never made it into the invoice, job costs allocated to their own projects, payroll errors that compound over months, expenses that never got captured. None of it feels dramatic in the moment, but it all adds up. A bookkeeper at this stage is handling monthly reconciliation, job costing per project, payroll processing, invoice tracking on AR side, and vendor payments on AP side. That's not a luxury. That's the baseline for running a business at this revenue level. The third thing is basic, repeatable estimating process. Whether that's you working from a structured template or eventually a dedicated estimator down the road, you need a consistent way to price work that accounts for your real costs, your overhead, and your actual margin targets, not just what feels right in the moment. Stage 2 structure, it's a foreman, bookkeeper, and a real estimating process. Your job at this stage is to stop being the only person who can make things run. Stage 3, growing company. So at this stage, you're not just hiring people anymore, you are building departments. And that's a completely different way of thinking about your business. The construction businesses that break through this stage have started building actual departments with clear owners. Operations is the first department that needs real structure. You have your project management, who owns their jobs from start to finish, site supervisors who run the field, someone thinking about safety and compliance so it doesn't become a liability problem down the road. Sales and estimating needs to become its own function at this revenue level. A dedicated estimator, a CRM of some kind, and a process for following up on leads that don't rely entirely on you. And then there's the finance department. Most contractors overlook this department, and trust me when I say that it's genuinely the most expensive mistake I see at this stage. Here's what your finance department should look like between 1.5 million and the 3 million. A bookkeeper handling the day-to-day and week-to-week, accounts receivable, making sure invoices go out on time and money is actually coming in when it's supposed to. Accounts payable, managing vendor payments so you're not getting hit with late fees or damaging supplier relationships. Payroll, running accurately and on time every single period. And the monthly financial review where someone like a CFO sits down with you and walks you through your P&L, your cash flow, your jobs that are actually performing or not performing. That last piece matters. A weekly review isn't just an accounting exercise. It's how you catch problems early enough to actually do something about them. A job running over budget in month 2 is fixable. The same problem discovered at closeout is just a loss you have to absorb. If you're at 2 million in revenue and nobody is sitting down with you at least monthly to talk through your numbers, you're making significant financial decisions without the information you need to make them well. So round out this stage with basic admin and HR support. Hiring is taking real time at this revenue level, and someone needs to own that process. Stage 3 structure is operations department, sales and estimating, a full finance department, and admin support. Each one needs a clear owner who isn't you. Stage 4, scaling business. Once you cross 3 million, the game changes in a specific way. You don't just need people who can do the work. You need people who can lead departments, make real decisions, and grow their own teams without you being in every meeting. I know what you're thinking. Now we're talking, because at this stage, you're almost replacing yourself at your core as a C-suite leader in your company. On the financial side, this is where a controller or fractional CFO becomes genuinely important, and there's a real difference between these two things and a bookkeeper that I want to highlight real quick. A bookkeeper keeps your records accurate and current. A controller or CFO uses those records to tell you something useful. They are forecasting your cash flow 90 days out. They're analyzing which types of jobs are producing and the best margins. They're helping you think through the financial implications of hiring decisions, equipment purchases, and expansion plans before you make them. So at 3 million, you are making decisions that have serious financial consequences. So having someone in your corner who actually understands construction finance at a strategic level isn't a nice to have anymore. It's what keeps you from making expensive mistakes as the numbers get bigger. On the operations side, you need someone running the day-to-day so you can step back from it. An operations manager or COO who owns execution while you focus on vision, key relationships, and where the company is going over the next 3 to 5 years. And at this size, HR becomes a full-time job. Hiring, onboarding, compliance, culture, someone needs to own it. Your org chart at 3 million and above looks like this. You as a COO focused on the strategy and growth. An operations manager leading project managers and foremen. A sales manager leading estimators. A controller or fractional CFO leading your bookkeeper, AR, AP, and payroll functions. An HR manager handling the people side of the business. The structure lets the business actually run without every decision coming back to you. Notice this as you look back across every stage we just covered. The financial layer is always there. From the very first basic system you set up at 300K to your bookkeeper at 700K, finance department at 2 million, and your CFO at 3 million and beyond, it grows at every stage. The contractors who build that layer intentionally always know where their money is. Bid with confidence, they catch problems early, they can actually pay themselves consistently without stressing out about whether the cash is there. The ones who skip it or push it off to 2 million in revenue and genuinely can't figure out why they can't pay themselves, I mean, the money is there on paper, but nobody built the systems to protect it. That gap between revenue and the actual financial clarity is what I've spent years helping contractors close. So if you watch this and you're not sure where your business falls in this chart, or you know your financial structure is behind of where it should be for your revenue level, that's exactly what we do here at Beyond Book Solutions. We work exclusively with construction business owners, from absolute basic bookkeeping all the way up to fractional CFO support, depending on where you are and what you actually need right now. So link to book a call with me is in the description. Until the next video, I'll see you soon.